is DJ Nicholas on the show. When you hear the trumpet or the flute, know it's a battle. Time to put your vehicle in a drive, make it go travel. Like Mary, you are going to put it on shackle. When the war so easy on me body, and when it got on them,
Greetings and salutations. Welcome, man and man, from Moran Point to Negril. This is the Mailbox here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on your favorite gospel station, Love 101 FM. Kevin Bailey with co-host Courtney Morrison in the place. Let us continue this conversation. We're talking about overcoming major illnesses, part 2. Men are often at fault in neglecting their health, which can contribute to the development of serious conditions like heart diseases, diabetes, and cancer. Men's health is very important and refers to the state of physical, mental, and social well-being of men, and encompasses a wide range of issues that are unique to men or that affect men differently than women. This can include issues related to reproductive health, sexual health, cardiovascular health, mental health, and cancer prevention and treatment. Men's health also encompasses lifestyle factors such as diet, exercise, and stress management, as well as access to health care and preventative measures. Despite overall increases in life expectancy globally, men's life expectancy is less than that of women, regardless of race or geographic region. The global gap between the life expectancy of men and women has remained at approximately 4.4 years since 2016, according to the World Health Organization. Biological, behavioral, and social factors contribute to a lower overall life expectancy in men. However, the individual importance of each factor is not known. Overall, attitudes towards health also differ by gender. Men are generally less likely to be proactive in seeking health care, resulting in poorer health outcomes. This is the program designed for men, with guests who are men, hosted by men, and it's here every Wednesday unless it's a holiday at 5:30 p.m. right here on the 101, the family station. It's the Mailbox. As I said, I'm Kevin Bailey. My code is right here.
Hey, it's Pastor Courtney Morrison sitting in with Kevin Bailey on the Mailbox. It is the 23rd of July, 2025. And to all our listeners, we say thanks for making it Love 101 and making it your station of choice. We're talking about the topic overcoming major illnesses, and this is part 2. One of the things, recovering from a major incident like a heart attack requires a combination of medical treatment. Yes, lifestyle changes and emotional support. By focusing on these things, individuals can overcome a major illness and reduce the risk of future cardiovascular events. Today, we'll continue the conversation with our guests, medical doctor, Dr. Errol Williamson, and Mr. Edward Smith, aka Uncle Eddie. And he's a pastor at Antioch Gospel Chapel, and he's an evangelist working with open-air campaigners. Today, we'll hear the conclusion of Uncle Eddie's recovery, a story after suffering a major heart attack. Yes, please stay tuned.
Yes, Courtney, we continue the conversation. Our guests this evening are Dr. Errol Williamson and Mr. Edward Smith, aka Uncle Eddie. And we're so very happy to have these gentlemen one more time to deal with a very important, significant topic that affects us as men, and as we geared in on challenging, encouraging, empowering our men to become all that they were created to become. Let me just share a little bit about Dr. Errol Williamson, and Courtney, you will share a little bit about Uncle Eddie as well. Dr. Errol Williamson is a seasoned medical doctor and final year resident in the Doctor of Medicine in Emergency Medicine program at the University of the West Indies, Mona. With extensive clinical experience gained from working in some of Jamaica's leading hospitals, he has developed a strong reputation for excellence in patient care. emergency response, and medical leadership. Beyond his professional responsibilities, Dr. Williamson is passionately dedicated to mentorship, voluntary service, and meaningful community involvement. Indeed, we are privileged, honored to have Dr. Williamson with us again on the show. Courtney.
Indeed. And we also have with us, and also have the honor and the privilege, Mr. Edward Smith, otherwise known as Uncle Eddie. Yes, he's here. Pastor Edward Smith grew up in a boys' home in St. Mary, attended St. Mary's High School, and was further educated at Jamaica Theological Seminary. Uncle Eddie got saved at age 8 years of age and was baptized at 10 years old. He has been working in Christian and children's ministry for over 25 years, yes, quarter of a century, including school ministry with open air campaigners. Pastor Edward is married to Shirley, and they have 2 adult children, Taylor Ann and Jonathan. He loves the Lord Jesus and enjoys serving him. Gentlemen, it's good to have you back with us, Uncle Eddie and Dr. Williamson. Thanks for rejoining us for part 2 of this important dialogue on men's health and illness and recovery as well. It's all about overcoming major illnesses. Kev.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
All right.
It's
Greetings,
great having
everyone.
you
Good
guys
evening.
again. But man, we want you to hear from you. We are live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. Remember, you can leave your comments via WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125 or call our studio lines at 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. Also, we are on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. Indeed, gentlemen, it is good, as I said before, to have you both. And we want the ladies to know, indeed, we thank you for your support. And we have a question that we'd like to ask the ladies. What would you do if your spouse develops a major illness? Maybe hearing that it's even terminal. You can participate in the program by leaving us a message via WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, social media platforms. Female, remember though, no calls or voice note are allowed. You're allowed to text, but no calls nor voice notes. This is the program designed for men, hosted by men, and whose guests are men. This is the mailbox. Gentlemen, at this time, we normally give a shout out to all the man them. We usually count to 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we shout out, man there! You guys should be accustomed to doing this. So the second time around is better than the first time. So after 3, 1, 2, 3, man there! We seem to have lost Kevin for a bit. We're not sure. He seems to be having some technical difficulties. It seems as if the internet is giving him a little bit of a warm time. Gentlemen, we thank you again for scheduling us into your schedule and availing yourself for this part 2. But here's a question we want to ask you. Should we be more concerning about the health of our men? Please, it's not a rhetorical question. Should we be more concerning about the health of our men? Yes or no? Yay or nay? Gentlemen, who wants to answer first? And if you say yes or no, tell us why you say so.
I say yes. When you put it the way as we, I believe each male needs to take responsibility in terms of their health. As we know, men are reluctant, because one of the things that we are afraid of is to hear that something is wrong, but we should put that aside and be more, I would use the word aggressive towards our health, take much responsibility for our health, because it is very, very important.
Thank you very much, Uncle Eddie. Dr. Williamson, should we be more concerned about the health of our men? Yes or no?
Naturally, yes. We ought to be concerned about the health of men because we are the endangered sex here, right? Women outlive us. We are the ones who unfortunately have these bad habits that are detrimental to our own health. We're the ones who smoke, drink alcohol, and we are the ones who oftentimes don't seek out healthcare to prolong our own lives. So we always have to make emphasis and encourage one another to ensure that we be proactive when it comes to our health. We don't wait until something happens. We seek to get followed up, right? And in the event we have any illnesses, we don't linger around and spend a long time before we seek medical help. But yes, we should always be concerned about our health.
Thank you, Dr. Williamson. I want to ask a question, though, of you, Dr. Errol. Is Uncle Eddie right? He says, as men, we are often afraid to hear that something is wrong. Is that the foundation for why men do not often seek medical attention? You seem to
What
wait
Uncle
until it
Eddie
becomes...
mentioned,
Yeah, go ahead.
I've heard this from patients before. Sometimes they don't want to be in the know. And it's not just men and women. Sometimes they often don't want to be in the know. Rather, they don't know, so they don't have to worry or get too concerned or caught up. That's one of the factors. But the factors are multifactorial when it comes to men per se. Your own health-seeking behavior is one of them. Some people are scared. Some people are afraid of going to doctors genuinely. But the fear is a mind over matter thing. Sometimes the fear can actually paralyze you to the point where you don't even pay attention to the problems. You turn a blind eye to it. You sit and watch and wait and hope till it go away. But unfortunately, sometimes when we have some illnesses, it actually just gets worse, and then oftentimes it will allow us to present late when we can actually get treated for it. There's a saying that says prevention is better than cure, but if we prevent ourselves from taking up these fears and thoughts of not knowing the unknown, it will help to mitigate a lot of our health-related problems.
Thank you, Dr. Williamson. I've heard some men also say that sometimes, doctors only want you to spend your money for no reason whatsoever. Have you ever heard that, Uncle Eddie?
I don't remember if I've ever heard that. I can only think about especially one major issue that I know a lot of men are afraid of, and that it has to do with prostate.
Okay.
So that is one major thing in terms of the examination. And when I tell them that, look here, I have done it and so forth, some of them say, boy, you're all right, but
I actually wrote a letter in one of our leading newspapers on that one, and it was something else. I said the DRE is often seen as DREAD. But gentlemen, we're up on our first break, and you're listening to the Mailbox, or you may be viewing us on Facebook or YouTube or on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. Our guests today in this part 2, Dr. Errol Williamson and Pastor Edward Smith, otherwise known as Uncle Eddie of Open Air Campaigners. We're going to take this break and we'll come right back after these messages. You're listening to Love 101.
Yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
We've seen seen a lot of our customers make some good moves over the years. Whether it's sharing a hug with a friend you haven't seen in a long time or sharing a meal, Grace has been there. So let's keep making these moments together, because rest assured, every time you choose Grace, you know you're making a good move.
Always a good move when you're moving with Grace. Always a good move when you're moving with Grace.
The time that Grace could move is
5:45 p.m. on Love 101.
This summer, we're turning up the love across Jamaica. It's the Double the Love Summer Tour with Love 101.
Everything a double.
Join us in 5 parishes for live broadcast of the Gospel Train and Youth Connection, plus community cook-offs, family sports, games, and good vibes. From Portmore to St. Thomas, Manchester, Mobile, and Kingston.
I'm about to have a good day.
We're spreading faith, fun, and fellowship island-wide. And it all ends with a big back-to-school grand finale in Kingston. The Double the Love Summer Tour, powered by Love 101, the family station. Don't you miss it.
God made the universe.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
hurricane season is here. Is your property underinsured? If your policy hasn't been updated in years, you are at risk. One hurricane and you could be paying millions out of pocket. Don't get caught off guard. Know your property's value. Talk to your insurance provider today. Check it, value it, insure it. Real value, real coverage. A message from the Insurance Association of Jamaica. Protecting
This Emancipation Day, experience a night of powerful praise and purpose. CC Winans brings her More Than This tour to Jamaica with Chevelle Franklin, Kevin Downswell, Prince Saj, John Mark Wigan, hosted by IT Ellis and Nadine Blair. Gates open 2 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Tickets at select outlets island-wide or online at spuropen.com. Follow at More Than This Jamaica on Instagram for updates. CC Winans, More Than This concert with a call. Friday, August 1, King's House East, Lawns.
We're in the hurricane season and the hottest time of the year. But no worries, Lanco has you covered. By the way, you're covered with Lanco Cool Guard or Urethanizer roof coating yet? Use Lanco roof coatings to waterproof your roof and also benefit from a cooler home with our advanced Thermoflex technology. Get 10 to 20% discount on Lanco Urethanizer and Cool Guard roof coating island-wide this hurricane season. Lanco, your waterproofing expert.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man.
Welcome back to the program, The Mailbox. We've been doing this for the past 13 years, 13 consecutive years. Kevin Bailey and Courtney Morrison. It's good to have you back, Kevin. Today our guests are Dr. Errol Williamson and Pastor Edward Smith of the Antioch Gospel Chapel. And we're talking about overcoming major illnesses. Last time around, we heard from Pastor Smith how he suffered a heart attack. And we want to complete that story this time around. This is part 2. So we want to hear more on him. If you want to start with that, just give us a little background as to where you're coming from, but straight into the story of the heart attack. We want to ensure we hear everything today. And we have a medical doctor who can help us to analyze what happened.
Well, as I mentioned the last time, this happened on the 26th of June, just the day before my birthday. I just went outside, came back in, sat down, and it was like, someone took a sledgehammer, hit me in my chest. I took a aspirin that I had at home, threw it up, put it under my tongue, because I realized what was happening after I was sweating profusely. Until I went into my room where my wife was laying on the bed, and I said to her, I'm feeling some chest pain. I knew that it was a heart attack, but I didn't want to let them know, because I know what would, they would be very frightened and so forth. So I just tell her that I'm having serious chest pain. So I laid on the bed, sweating. My wife tried to wipe the sweat and everything. And then I remembered my hands was on my chest, and then they just fell to my side, as if no life was in it. And my daughter came in at that time, and I felt like life was leaving my arms. And I said to the Lord, I had a conversation with the Lord then. I know you will take care of my family, but if you have somebody already for the church, then fine, you just do what you have to do. And I heard a voice says to cough. I started to cough. I felt life coming back in my hand. And then my daughter, especially, she was crying, my wife also. But then I started to sing a song, which made it worse. And when I started to sing that song, "'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus, just to take him at his word." I was singing it out, and my daughter began to cry and says, "No, Daddy, you're not ready. You need to fight this thing." Because, I guess all of you know, when they say somebody sick and start to sing, you know what that means? That they are going home, and so they thought that was the final straw. And as I said the last time, when she says when she felt my feet, they were cold like ice. And when I started to cough, then a little life came into my arms. I said to them, "Take me to the university hospital." My wife says, "No." To the doctor, I says, "No, straight to UWI." And thank God my nephew was at home. He took 20 minutes from Albion to reach to UWI. I guess he needs to drive an ambulance. So he took that day, me there. And when I went into the emergency room, they string me up with all these things. I heard the machine making all those noise. Doc can say what it is. And I said they tear off a paper and look at it. And all this time, I must say, I was conscious. I didn't lose consciousness during all of what was happening. And doctor took my wife aside and says, "This is a major heart attack. Normally, persons don't come back from this." And immediately they gave me some tablets. I'm going to give you 8 tablets. They gave me that. I was still in pain. They sprayed some thing under my tongue. I could tell you the name of it. I don't remember what they said it was. 3 times, nothing happened. And then I heard the doctor says, "We're going to give you an injection," which I believe was morphine. And they gave me that injection, and they began to ask me, how is the pain between, 0 to 10, and so forth. And I told them, how the pain was. It was gradually getting less and less. And they says, "Well, we need to do something, that you need to get a stent in." So the doctor says, "Well, you know something? We don't have any here. We don't have any." But they says, "Look, there's a tablet a medication that you can take. And that medication is going to cost you $600, I think it was $25,000. I looked at the doctor and I said, "So, Doc, you want to give me another heart attack, don't it?" Yeah, with that cost. And same time, another female doctor came by and says, "Oh, remember there was a lady who bought a stent and she didn't use it, and it is there, it is available." And so they told me what it's gonna cost for that stent. And when I look at it, with all that happened, I can say that the Lord had His hand in everything. You know, can you imagine? He knew that I was going to need those stents, and so that woman didn't need it. Something else was available for that woman, and so that stent was available at that time. And I was rushed to the operating theater, and that was about maybe 2 hours after I got to the hospital. All I can say is that God worked it out, because doctors came from I don't know, and they were just around me. You know, I remember one doctor made a telephone call, and after that, I was surrounded by doctors. Speaking to some person, them says, "Boy, it is the Lord really worked things out for you." And so I was rushed to the operating theater, and they string me up and everything. And I know that they went through my right arm, and I guess they put up some cameras because I could see some things on the thing that they had there on my inside. You know, it didn't scare me. I love anything that had to do with medical issues. And so I heard the doctor says, "Wow, the right side is totally blocked." And then he also says that the left side also has some blockage. But he says, "Let us deal with the right side." And so they went in and they put in the stent in the right side, and they wheeled me back to the emergency room, after which I got to go onto the ward. And thank the Lord, a bed was available, so I got onto the ward. And they scheduled me for another operation in terms of putting in the other stent on the left side. That should have been done on the Tuesday, but they had some engineer who came from abroad to service the machine, and so it was put until Thursday. Before I jump to what happened Thursday, on the ward, you know, as a child of God, God placed you at places that sometimes we wonder why. And sometimes we don't really look at the opportunity that we might have in terms of where God placed us. And unlike I see persons come and visit and would be preaching and so on the ward, I took the time to walk around to persons who were ill, and I asked them, "Can I pray for you?" And I used that opportunity to pray for those who were on Ward 7 with me, you know. And so there was this gentleman who came in. And when he came in, you know, we became good friends. I told him my name, and sometimes during the night, I would hear him calling, "Mr. Eddie, Mr. Eddie, can help me do this?" I will get up and I will do that, because I wasn't on any drip or anything. I wasn't on any drip. And so on Saturday, when I woke up on Saturday, I could hardly see the ward. I could hardly see the things around me. And when I called to the nurse and they came and I told them what was happening, they took my pressure and realized it was 47/30 something. It was low.
Let's pause there, Uncle Eddie. Let's pause there. We're up on our second break. We're hoping you can have the story more concise. We want to hear from Dr. Williamson as well, and we want to complete the story this time around. It is Love 101. We're talking about overcoming major illnesses, and this is a program hosted by men, designed for men. and whose guests are men. It's 6 p.m. in the afternoon. The program is The Mailbox. Courtney Morrison, Kevin Bailey, and our guests, Dr. Errol Williamson and Pastor Edward Smith. Soon come back.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes.
This Emancipation Day, experience a night of powerful praise and purpose. CC Winans brings her More Than This tour to Jamaica with Chevelle Franklin, Kevin Downswell, Prince Saj, John Mark Wigan, hosted by IT Ellis and Nadine Blair. Gates open 2 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Tickets at select outlets island-wide or online at spuropen.com. Follow at More Than This Jamaica on Instagram for updates. CC Winans, More Than This concert with a call. Friday, August 1, Kings House East Lawns.
I'm Itana, and human trafficking is everybody's business. Call 1-888-PROTECT to report suspected cases of child trafficking.
Nationals. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back. This is The Mailbox, here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on your favorite gospel station, Love 101 FM. We have Dr. Errol Williamson and Uncle Eddie, Edward Smith in the place, Courtney and Kevin. So we have to thank God that Uncle Eddie is still alive, miraculously. Dr. Williamson, hearing what has happened to our brother Smith, as men, are we to be concerned about cardiovascular disease, heart attack? And are there things that we can do in order to prevent it or to manage it? And just hearing this story, can you share with our audience, what are we to do as men? This thing seems so frightening.
Right, as men, we have to take our health seriously. Regarding having heart attacks or cardiovascular disease, most of these occurrences happen as a result of what we do in our lifestyles, right? So there are some lifestyle changes that we can actually do to prevent and mitigate us from even getting a heart attack or even a stroke. Some of these include, we have to cut out the smoking, right? We have to cut out excessive drinking of alcohol because these directly affect the blood vessels that supply the heart. We have to find a way to watch and modify our diet. We have to cut down the fried, the fatty foods. There's always role for exercise and maintaining our weight. We have to ensure that we get our checkups in a timely manner. We don't have to wait until we have problems. We should always get a checkup with our doctor at least once a year, especially when you're over the age 45. That's like a critical time zone. But if you have family history of like heart attacks, if you have a family history where everybody is just kind of overweight, a family history of diabetes or hypertension, or if you have those by yourself, it's very important for you to follow up close with your doctor. Because heart attack, not everybody gonna be as blessed as what Uncle Eddie in his situation. Because when he mentioned all of these stories, like I'm just like replaying us, like I know this is this type of heart attack, the worst one on the spectrum. And then when he got the medication on the tongue, sometimes the medication don't really work, you know. But he was just very fortunate, and I know that God works in some very mysterious ways, because not every time you're gonna have everything available like that, right to understand right away, and not all the while you're gonna be able to go to that catheter lab to actually open up the vessels right away, because within 2 hours that is like impressive. Like that doesn't always happen. And not every time you get a heart attack where you actually survive. Because unfortunately, like the one when he mentioned the right side to the heart, his heart could have stopped beating. He could have a very low blood pressure. He could have passed out. So he was very fortunate, and God had a purpose for Uncle Eddie right now. And here he is sharing his story. And I hope some men who are out there just take heed, listen, it's not everybody will survive a heart attack, and for him to be telling us about this story, it's very remarkable. So we have to take heed and ensure that we make changes to our lifestyle, ensure that we get our follow up, so we can actually live more productive lives and be fruitful.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Errol. Pastor Smith, what was your diet like before this happened? You know, I'm looking at you and you look so young and alive and well. Were there any warning signs for you to have aspirin at home? Was that also just a miracle, or just that you had things put aside? Were there any warning signs, and how is recovery going?
Okay, my diet. Tell the truth, for my diet, there are a lot of things that I don't eat, and up to now, my son is wondering how is it that I got an heart attack, because I don't eat, like, the only meat I eat is either chicken or fish, or tuna, or so forth. I hardly eat anything that is fried, right? In terms of all those, what do you call those snacks, I really don't snack. So I would say everything just, when I look back, just take me by surprise as to how all of this, because I normally watch what I eat, right? So it is just amazing. I'm trying to remember the second thing you asked me.
Recovery. Oh, you're recovering.
Oh, but my recovery is, I tell you, it is wonderful. I would say right now, I don't know how persons feel after an heart attack, but I don't feel as if I had a heart attack. That's how I feel. Because I remember when I was in the hospital, and the consultant came with the doctors, and he looked and he says, "Wait, this man is not on drip." They were amazed that with the heart attack I had, I wasn't on drip. I was there talking to them, and everything, you know. So it's all I say, as Doc alluded at the end, is all because of God. God had a plan. And I want to say one of the big plan is, in the hospital, as I mentioned earlier on, I met this gentleman, and we became good friends. He had a lot of issues, and when I told him I was leaving, he began to cry, and he says, "Mr. Eddie, who is going to help me now that you're going home?" I said to him, "The Lord will send somebody." And I said to him, "Are you a Christian?" And he said to me, "I am a Seventh-day, and when I get out, I'll go." I says, "Look here, I didn't ask you whether or not you are a Seventh-day. I asked you, are you a child of God? Are you a Christian?" And he says, "No." And I began to share with him the word of God. And at the end, I asked him, "Would you like to trust the Lord as your Savior?" And he says, "Yes." And right there in the hospital, he gave his heart to the Lord. You know, I always look at things happening in my life. If it's just for this man to come to the Lord, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Awesome. Certainly. No, certainly it would worth it. I'd love to get Dr. Williamson's perspective on recovery. What persons were listening who may have gone through a similar incident like Uncle Eddie, and they're wondering, what to do, because I have a feeling that sometimes people are fearful that it will happen again. What can be done differently, and like support system, is there a place for family or friends or people to be a part of the support system in the recovery? Dr. Williamson.
Can you repeat the question again? It was a little disjointed.
Right.
As in, the question is.
Sure. Just to ask, how do you make sure you're recovering well after experiencing something as major as this? What are some of the pointers you would give to persons who are listening, who are wondering, am I doing right to make sure I recover well from heart attack?
Okay. Recovering from the heart attack, well, it's a big life-changing moment. So, as I mentioned before, the same preventative measures, those should be continued. So we should always ensure that we modify our diets, ensure we have more fresh foods, fibers, cut down the fatty meals, the fried meals. We should ensure that we have to take our medication, because even though the medications treat the heart attack, we have to be on medications to prevent another heart attack. Because the fact that you have one, you can have multiple others afterwards. You're gonna have to ensure that you gradually employ exercise in your regime. But there's a disclaimer to it, though. It should be a gradual process. Some persons after a heart attack have to get specialized physiotherapy. They call it cardiac rehab, whereby they can actually undergo a series of evaluation and testing to see how well they can perform. With heart attack as well, sometimes you can have complications where the heart goes into failure, and sometimes you end up having swelling to your body here and there. So it is imperative that you actually follow up with your doctor. You're going to have to do a specialized test called an echocardiogram. It's just like an ultrasound. Just like when you have pregnant women, you do the ultrasound to see the baby. We have an ultrasound to look at the heart called an echocardiogram. And that is very important, so we can actually see how well the heart is beating, how well it's functioning, and if it is beating in the right way. But you're going to have to be on medications for life pretty much, to prevent you from going back and getting another heart attack. And you have to closely follow up with your cardiologist or a regular doctor. So how will you know you're actually performing well? Once you maintain the new regime, you're going to have to be on medications. You're going to have to get your close follow-up so you don't have any other subsequent complications.
Thank you very much, Dr. Williamson. On the other side of the break, we want to talk more about other major illnesses that exist and what can we do. But Pastor Edward Smith mentioned stents and the clearing of blockages. Do those stents dissolve? What are they? What are they about for our listeners?
All right, so you mentioned about stenting. Well, not every heart attack would require stenting per se. Some persons, depending on the type of heart attack that you have, you might require stenting per se. But generally, everybody's offered medical therapy. You'll be given your aspirin, you're given your clopidogrel and other medications that will clear the blockage. The type of heart attack that Uncle Eddie had was like the worst on the spectrum. And the good thing is that he presented very early. There are some medications that can be offered to break down and burst the clots right away. But Uncle Eddie own was so severe such that he had to do a medical procedure called percutaneous coronary intervention. Percutaneous, meaning that you go through the skin, right? You remember you mentioned about going through his arm?
Yeah.
A specialist cardiologist will do a specialized procedure whereby they run a little guide wire. It's like a very thin wire. He's going to thread it through his artery and run it all the way to his heart. And what he was mentioning earlier on about looking up on the camera and everything, they're going to actually insert some dye and they're going to look through an x-ray. You're going to see the blood flow to the heart. So in order to get the stent in, the blood vessel has to be occluded. Greater than 50% of the vessel have to be occluded. It has to be that severe, right? So once it's that severe, it was so severe for Uncle Eddie such that he required stenting. And stenting now is the use of a special medical device that is going to actually place over the clot and it's going to open the blood vessel. So it's just a specialized thing. It's not gonna dissolve per se. If it was gonna be dissolved, it wouldn't serve its full purpose. But at the end of the day, even if you get the stent in, it doesn't mean that your blood vessels would be permanently open. You have to change your lifestyle, right? Because the dietary measures can still build up back and you still can have blockage of further blood vessels. But the stenting is like the best method that can actually be used to open up the blood vessels. But after all of this, it doesn't start there. You have to be on medications. You have to maintain your weight. You have to ensure your cholesterol is levels are low, so the blood vessels don't get deposited with plaques. So even though you get the stenting, you get a big chance of life. Your heart can recover its function. Your heart be able to beat properly. But it will buy you a lot of time, but you still have to employ the lifestyle changes as well.
Thank you very much, Dr. Williamson. I feel now that I can go and perform this procedure on someone. I'm just kidding. It is now 16 minutes past the hour 6. You're listening to the Mailbox. We have as our guest Dr. Errol Williamson and Pastor Edward Smith, aka Uncle Eddie. My co-host Kevin Bailey is here with us. We come right back after these messages.
Remix the summer with Digicel. 100 lucky winners will $100,000 each. Plus surprises all summer. Gift a friend a plan. They could win $25,000. And the time by Digicel is now 6:17.
You can see the face, but not the heart. Those who want to do you wrong. So many times.
Bless up. This is Christopher Martin. Human trafficking is a crime. Let's unite to end human trafficking. Be wise, open your eyes. Spot them, stop them, and report them.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
No shadow at the dark. No shadow at the dark.
Turn the flame up and take it to 100. This summer we're turning up the love across Jamaica. It's the Double the Love Summer Tour with Love 101.
Everything a double.
Join us in 5 parishes for live broadcast of the Gospel Train and Youth Connection, plus community cook-offs, family sports, games, and good vibes from Portmore to St. Thomas, Manchester, Mobile, and Kingston.
I'm about to have a good day.
We're spreading faith, fun, and fellowship island-wide. And it all ends with a big back-to-school grand finale in Kingston. The Double the Love Summer Tour, powered by Love 101, the family station. Don't you miss it.
God made the universe, knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Baby, I'm on.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes.
Welcome back. This is the Mailbox here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on your favorite radio station, Love 101 FM. So Courtney and Kevin in the place, our very special guest, Dr. Errol Williamson and Pastor Edward Smith, Uncle Eddie. Dr. Williamson, what are some of the other health concerns, issues that as men we need to be concerned about? We need to pay attention based on your expertise, your experience, Jamaican men. What are some of the areas that we need to pay attention to so we can be healthy?
All right. I think Courtney had alluded to this before with the DRE. Well, I mean, men, we have this organ called the prostate, right? It's located just below the bladder, and the tube that we actually pass our urine through, it surrounds that tube as well. And oftentimes, we as men, we kind of neglect to realize that, after a certain age, I'm not able to pass urine that well. I have to strain to pass urine. And another thing to know as well, one of the cancers that actually more prevalent in men is prostate cancer. So we should take note and ensure that we get our screening from early. If for prostate cancer, we usually recommend it to start around by age 40. Mr. Courtney had mentioned earlier on about the DRE. That's not the only way how to get screened for prostate cancer, right? It's just a test that the doctor.
What is the DRE for our listeners? What is the DRE, doctor?
Okay, DRE.
And break it down for us.
Yes. Okay, DRE. D stands for digital. Use a finger. R is for rectal, which is the rectum, and the examination. So pretty much the doctor would use a gloved, lubricated finger to insert into the bottom, into the back passage, to feel for the prostate. The reason why it is done is because the prostate is located it's located just in front of the rectum per se, and the rectum is where our stool is stored. So the doctor, by inserting a gloved finger to feel for the prostate, can actually determine whether or not the prostate is enlarged. And if it is enlarged, there's a risk that it could have cancer. So in addition to doing the DRE, the exam, we have to do a blood test called a PSA. It's a prostate-specific antigen. It's a specialized blood test. So depending on the levels that it is, it might give us an indication whether this prostate is overreactive or so, or whether we probably need to do a biopsy. But prostate cancer is so prevalent in Black men per se, we have to get our screening from early. So if you have a family history of prostate cancer, you should get your screening a little earlier, around 40 years old. And it's something that we as men should actually be diligently take our initiative to go to our doctor, follow up. I know the whole inserting finger examination it's quite uncomfortable, and some men feel a specific way about that per se, but it's just one way how we can know what's going on with our health, because prostate cancer, if you catch it early, you definitely can have a cure. So that is one of the issues in our society as well. There's this stigma getting screened for prostate cancer. It's no big deal, to be honest. You can do the blood test as well. In addition to this, especially cardiovascular disease, you have heart attack, you have stroke, you have diabetes, hypertension. Those are very prevalent in our setting and society. And we always have to take the initiative to actually go out and get tested. Like, for instance, they call hypertension the silent killer. Most times you won't feel anything, If you have a headache, that don't mean it's your pressure. But if you don't get your blood pressure tested, you won't know that you have hypertension. And then, boom, one day you just get up, boom, that's a stroke. You can't move one side of your body. You can't speak anymore. You're paralyzed, unfortunately. Those are preventative things that we can actually mitigate by just going to your doctor, just getting checked up, get your pressure checked, get your sugar tested. So, I mean, a lot of times we tend to be very reactive. Like when a problem comes, that's when we take action. But prevention is always better than cure. It's always good to visit your doctor and get your screening from early. And these are some of the things that we can actually use to prevent and enjoy our lives a little longer. So we just need to man up, wake up, stand up, and go to the doctor. It's not a big deal.
Quite a lot. They're encouraging men to take care of their health. Pastor Eddie, how can you do some of these things that Dr. Williams is recommending, especially in the church community? And you share that you're already doing some of these things, but talk to us a little bit and encourage churches, to be a part of this program of creating safe environment where men seek help for their health. Talk to us a little bit.
Yes. Yes, we have a medical clinic every Thursday at our church in Antioch. It will be good if other churches will adopt this this way of helping out in persons. But one of the things that we find, the difficulty in this is getting many times doctors to volunteer to come. So that is one of the drawback many times. You have a few doctors that will, but then sometimes for our clinic, we just have one doctor. But as I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking that where we should start, and I think as a church, and where we should start is with our young men, because as young men, we think that nothing can harm us. We are just free. And I think we should educate them from now that, look, you need to go to the doctor. And don't wait until maybe you're 39, 40, then that's the time we're saying you should go to the doctor. But from a youth, encourage them that it become a lifestyle to them, that they should, go and get a checkup. Even if you feel all right, just go to the doctor, the mother or the father. We take our sons, tell them, look here, come with me to the doctor just for a checkup. And I think that's where we really need to start. And as a church, we sometimes have a lot of young people in our church, a lot of young men, that we need to encourage them that way. And I think I really need to do that. I really need to do that also.
Boy, Uncle Eddie, you're looking good for someone who went through such a serious heart attack. Trust me.
Thank the Lord.
How can we?
Lord.
Yes. We see that churches are on the increase by having health fairs. Doc, you think that's enough?
Well, the church can play a role, and that's a good initiative for churches to actually do, because they are part of the community. They can do their outreach as well. While you invite them to get their free screen, you can still minister to people as well. And that is a good initiative as well. You can also take the youth initiatives to youth clubs, sporting clubs, to the bars, right? To the corner where the man them usually there, right? So there are multiple ways, because it's gonna hard to get them from the corner, the bar, and come to the clinic, to the doctor office, right? We want to prevent all of this from getting worse. So all of these health fair, health screening clinics at church, this is a good initiative, and I think some churches can adopt this, because it will actually reap its reward in the end. But we have to find a way to get out there and reach the men wherever they are out there, because you might feel good today, but boy, sometimes unfortunately you just wake up and then tomorrow that's it, you have a massive heart attack. You probably don't wake up. You wake up and have a stroke. So we might feel good and we might feel strong, we might dip on the ball and play football and everything like that. Wake up today, you don't have a tomorrow. So it's very important that we get the message out to seek help from early. Prevention is better than the cure. A simple checkup can go a long way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That brings us to the end of the program, Gentlemen, we appreciate you coming back. We appreciate this conclusion in helping to overcome major illnesses. I myself had to take off 30 pounds. I had to do an ECG, EKG. Found that out in 2019 with a blood pressure of 185/101. And at the time I was 198 pounds. I'm now 170 pounds. And having good blood pressure between 124 to 126 over 70s and the 80s. Gentlemen, it can happen. Trust me, it can happen. So thanks to our producer, Jeremy Johnson, Nick Hugh Angus, our technical support. Thanks to both our guests, Dr. Errol Williamson and Pastor Edward Smith. Thank you for being here. It was a privilege and an honor sharing with you 2 times. We end this show with this quote. It's up to you today to start making healthy choices. Not choices that are just healthy for your body, but healthy for your mind. Steve Maraboli said that.
That's right. Encourage the man them, do the prostate examination and all the other things you heard on the show today. So that's it for our show this week. Catch you next week. Same place, same time, inside the mailbox. Thanks again, gentlemen.
Next week. Monday,
for sure.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Strong man, integrity man. I am a man. Man. I am a man.
man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
You're tuned to Family Radio broadcasting from Kingston, Jamaica. We're Love 101 FM. The time is now 6:30 p.m. That is that time for our evening temperature check in Kingston and Montego Bay. Right now in Kingston, it's 26 Celsius, and that converts to